What we're looking at, you can see how we're living right here. Cursed, robbing each other, killing each other.
Right.
Angry at us, but let's figure out why is he angry at us? Do you know?
So we don't. Maybe we don't care. We don't. I don't know. We don't care.
You okay? So you close. You close. So
we don't care enough.
Right, but the reason that we don't.
Omega Psi Phi.
Yeah, that's what I used to be in. But look, we all have repented of many things that we've done in our past life, because in Christ we are all new creatures. So, as I was explaining though, you're right. You're on the right path.
I don't know.
You're good. And that's what it takes. It takes being humble and really asking the question, why are we living in this condition?
They don't care.
It's because we broke our covenant that we made with God.
Right.
Have you ever heard that before?
I heard that before.
Okay. So we're going to get it real quick just so everybody knows, everybody within the sound of my voice. We're going to go to the book of Deuteronomy. You heard of that book before? Okay. So the background in Deuteronomy is that Moses was telling the children of Israel, he was giving them the commandments that made up the covenant that the children of Israel had with the Most High God. So we're going to see what would happen if they kept that covenant and kept the commandments, and what the opposite would be if they didn't. Give me verse 1.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, and thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Hey, do you know what it means to hearken?
No, I don't.
So the root word of hearken is hear, right? So the beginning, in order to hearken, you have to first listen. You have to first listen, but it's a little bit more than that. It's a little bit more, because he said hearken diligently. Read it again.
And it shall come to pass, thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So hearken diligently, that means taking great attention to detail and care. So like what you said earlier, we didn't care. Understand, it said if we did not hearken. So the root word of hearken is hear.
Right.
And it said if we did not hearken diligently, that means with great care and concern and attention to detail. If we didn't hearken diligently to keep the commandments of God, what did it say was going to happen? It said what?
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So let me ask you a question. Is a curse good or bad?
Bad.
It's bad. So we all agree that that's bad, right?
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, it said that certain curses were going to come upon us as a result of us breaking the contract that we made with God. We're going to get some of them, because guess what? All of these curses are a sign that tells you who the children of Israel are today.
That's right.
That's how we know who we are.
Right.
Because remember what I read earlier, it says we don't know, we don't consider that we are the Lord's children.
Right.
We don't understand that. So we're going to prove it. Go ahead and get the first one.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So I read earlier in Jeremiah, we read earlier that we would be oppressed together. Well, where are we oppressed together? Is it in the country or is it in the city? Where we at right now? We in the city. This is the city, right? DC right there. This is the city. So read it again.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So you're right, it is everywhere.
Everywhere.
Because it's in the city. So right now, what we're looking at, you can see how we're living right here. Cursed. Robbing each other. Killing each other.
Right.
Harming each other, because we
Right.
don't see the Christ in one another. We don't understand that we are his chosen people. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, give me 33 real quick.
Verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
Hey, so I got a question for you. When the conquistadors came over here, wasn't there already a group of people here? Right. And what happened to those people? What happened to them? When the conquistadors came over here, what did the conquistadors do to that group of people?
Take their stuff.
They did. They took their stuff. So look, what we're reading was literally thousands of years before it happened. This is a prophecy that Moses was reading that would happen to the Israelites as a result of them breaking the commandments. So let's read it again.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
So a nation that we didn't know came and ate up all of the resources, the food, and the things that belong to the so-called Native Americans.
Right.
Right? What?
No, with the bus is about to, that's what.
You got to go to the bus. All right. Well, look, bro, that's actually very important information. So you need to read it on the back of it. There is a QR code. Make sure that you scan it, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right. So, I want to continue this with you, right? So, we were talking about why we actually went into these conditions. So, look, we're actually about to cover why we went into slavery, too. Sis, first and foremost, you see yourself on this sign? You see yourself on right here? What would you consider yourself? An American black, right? So, what you see on the right side of this sign is what our oppressors call us. What you see on the left side of this sign is what the Lord calls us. How he identifies us as one of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. You heard that before? Yeah, you heard? Yeah, so you know you Judah too then, huh? Yeah, okay. Okay, so listen, so what we're going over is, if we're special people, chosen by God, like the scriptures say, then why are we living in the conditions that we're living in? Why are we on the bottom of society and not on top if he said that we're special above all people?
We've been punished.
So you got it, because we went over it. But sis, what do you think? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. It ain't going to do nothing to you.
We've been punished.
What about you, bro? So what I'm going over with our brothers and sisters right here is, if we are special people, according to the Bible, we're special people to God. Why are we going through the things that we're going through? Why are we oppressed? Why are we on the bottom of society?
Because you said that we...
Government.
You say because of what?
No.
So you don't think it got nothing to do with you? I mean, you right halfway, but there's something that led to it that even allowed that to happen in the first place.
We messed up.
Be honest.
We messed up. Go ahead.
It's
What?
It started with the parents because the child
We
don't know
messed
nothing.
up.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Learning from your parents. But the
No, you're right. What do you think, sis?
The government giving up all the bad knowledge. They ain't giving us the real stuff.
I mean, so like I said, you halfway right. That's why we're out here to teach our people the knowledge that the government is not going to give you, what they're not going to teach you in school. You're right about that. But like I said, that's the beginning of it. That's the beginning of it. I'm about to show you right now the reason that the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are actually on the bottom. I'm going to give you a hint, though. It got something to do with our relationship with God.
Right.
Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So this is Moses speaking to the Israelites. Like I said, the Israelites today are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Right.
He was speaking to them and telling them, hey, look, y'all got this contract with God. And if you don't live up to your end of that bargain, this is what's going to happen to you. Read.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses.
Hey, sis, before you go, what's a curse? Yeah, is a curse something good or bad?
Bad.
It depends. Oh, no, you can't leave now when you say that. Come on. Why does it depend on, why does it depend? I need to understand that.
What's a good curse?
They got good curses.
So what's a good curse? Give me an example of a good curse.
They got a good curse. I never do that. I never do that.
No, because they don't got a good curse. Sis, you never heard of a good curse. A curse is always bad.
Right.
Go ahead, read it.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 1, verse 20. Wherefore the evils cleaved unto us, and the curse, which the Lord appointed by Moses his servant.
So it said it's evil is synonymous with the curse. Evil is synonymous with a curse, sis. You hear me, bro? Yeah. Evil is synonymous. Hey, big bro. Hey, big bro. Hey, big bro. So, it said a curse is evil, so you agree, right? We all on the same page. So, keep reading.
Verse 20. Wherefore the evils...
No. Go back to Deuteronomy. Yes, sir. Go back to Deuteronomy. Because like I said, we're explaining that we had a contract with God and what happened to us while we're living in the conditions that we're living in right now. Read it when you got it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, and thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments, and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So, what's the answer then to what I asked you?
I don't believe there is a good curse. I believe all curses are bad.
Oh, you're right. So,
even if it's a good justice, still, like I just told her, even if a person has a good justice, because a curse is still some negativity behind it.
you're right. A curse is negative, period. So, like I said, it's very clear that the reason that we're in the state that we're in, because it's speaking to the Israelites, is because we broke those commandments with God. And you mentioned something earlier. You mentioned something.
Also comes
So
what
you,
I was saying.
hold on, no, I'm about to get it. I'm about to explain it to you. I'm about to tie it in. We on the same page, bro. So, like you said, it goes back to what are the parents teaching their kids. Because guess what? The Bible actually commands parents to teach their kids something very in particular, something very specific. Can you guess what it is? Based on what we just read, can you guess what it might be?
Well, my thing is, most people teach everybody to
No. I mean, my bad, bro. I want you to pay attention to what I asked. Based on what we just read, what do you think? What do you think the Lord probably told us to teach our kids? What do you think, sir?
Well, I don't know. I'm scared to answer. To believe, I don't know.
Okay, what about you? What you think?
Personally, I go with, you got to put them first.
You're right. So because God, this book is a book of commandments. It's a book of laws, statutes, and commandments. So the Lord actually told us that that's what we needed to teach our kids. Go ahead, read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 1. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which the Lord your God commanded to teach you, that ye might go, that you might do them in the land, whether you go to possess it. Verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
Unto who?
Unto thy children.
So this is the education that the government is not going to teach. And that's that we're supposed to be teaching our kids the laws, statutes, and commandments. Because if we taught that, a simple one, thou shalt not kill, there will be no murder in the black community. That's a simple one. That's just one commandment. There would be so many lives saved, so many people not killed, so many people not in jail as a result of that. So, we're going to get the rest of some of the curses so we can continue to identify ourselves. But I just wanted you to understand that that's the education, that this is the instruction of the Bible that we're supposed to be teaching our kids. Go ahead and go back.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So it says, cursed shall we be in the city. So when you look in Washington, D.C., or even over here in Eastover, it says, cursed shall we be in the city. So are we living in good conditions? Would you say that this is the creme de la creme, the top that we should be living? Would you say these are good conditions? No, right?
No.
Because we're cursed. We're at the bottom. We're killing each other, murdering each other. So why is that? It's on the news every day, bro. Why wouldn't you say that?
I wouldn't say that because if we actually got up and did something for ourselves and not just for ourselves, for each other, it would be a whole lot different. See, it ain't no family first no more. It ain't nobody helping the community no more. It's everybody for self.
Okay.
Hold on.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's one thing. Even though you can teach your kids thou shalt not kill, doesn't mean that it won't happen. Why? Because patience plays virtue.
You're right. We're not saying that, but the point is, if you never teach your kid that in the first place, then they never have a chance.
Right.
That's the point that we're making. I'm not disagreeing, because you could teach your kids and they could still end up wicked, but that's not the point. You still are supposed to do your job. We're still supposed to do our job as parents.
Right.
But you said something. You said something about loving one another. So you're right. A lot of this, the base of it is that we don't love one another.
Right.
But that's because we don't even know what love is according to the Bible. Do you know what it is? Do you know what it truly means to love someone else? What it truly means to love your neighbor?
Actually, I don't know what it truly means, but I do know Pastor is doing this.
So that's good. That is a good baseline. But I'm gonna tell you, it goes back to something we talked about earlier. Read.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 5 verse 3.
So pay attention.
For this is the love of God,
This right here.
that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous.
So love, according to the Bible, is keeping his commandments. Now why? Because if I honor and observe, thou shalt not kill, I'm not gonna harm my neighbor. If it says, thou shalt not bear false witness, I'm not gonna hit my neighbor up. If it says, thou shalt not covet his wife or his field, guess what? That means I'm not gonna steal from him or anything like that. What's up?
Yeah, with that love,
That is love. That's showing love, because you're treating somebody the way you would want to be treated. You're loving your neighbor as yourself. You wouldn't want anybody to do that to you, right? That's what the Bible is talking about. That's what it's talking about. So what you got?
Now, we talk about how I told him, I feel like the Bible's been rewritten so many times that it might not be a real thing. And he said the Quran never been tampered with. I feel like the Holy Quran is the real, the Bible that's in there is the real Bible.
So first and foremost, brother, I got a question. Well, first and foremost, the Quran literally has no prophecy in it.
Right.
I'm 100% sure about it. But I can tell you, look, I'm about to get into it real quick. The Bible has many prophecies. Some that have been fulfilled, be fulfilled. But I want to get you one. This is how we're going to prove it. This is how we're going to see whether or not this Bible has been tampered with, whether we can believe it, whether it's the truth. Because I can guarantee you, but I don't want you to believe me, we're going to get it. So wait, whoa. So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. It's not the same difference, and I'm going to explain why right after this. So look, this is slavery, right? You see this picture right here. This is slavery. So how did black folks get over here, bro? How did black people get over here? You said they claim. You ain't been. You live down here in D.C. You ain't been to the National History of African American. Okay. Well, look, this is picture. This is actual photographic evidence of what happened. You can go down. They still finding pieces of slave ships. So that is a doctrine that was put out by the white man to cause confusion in our community. Why? Because the Bible records how we got over here.
That's right.
So I'm about to prove it to you. Give me verse 68 real quick.
no, that love thing.
We're going to go back to it, but give me 68 real quick. Hey, bro, this for you. You got to pay attention. Read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So this is the same chapter that we talked about when the Lord, through Moses, was communicating with the children of Israel that curses would come upon them for breaking his commandments. One of those curses is what we're reading right now. So I want you to read it again real slow, because we're going to break it down. Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Okay, so listen. Egypt.
But you gotta listen.
Egypt.
You gotta listen too.
What does Egypt mean? Do you know what Egypt means? Real quick. So Egypt is simply a Greek word for bondage. We're going to prove that real quick.
Exodus chapter 20 verse 8. I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So Egypt is synonymous with bondage. Why? Because the Israelites were in slavery.
That's
then.
right.
They were in bondage. So let's go back to Deuteronomy 28:68 so we can get a full understanding of what this is talking about. Read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So it said the Lord was going to bring us back into slavery, back into bondage with ships. Why is that important? Because I guarantee you, you won't find that in the Quran. But this right here is a prophecy that was written thousands of years ago that was fulfilled in 1492 and 1619. That's how we know that this is a true book, because we can see that history unfolded.
Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is